Everything Everywhere All at Once isn't just one of the greatest A24 produced movies yet, it's hands down one of the greatest films I've ever experienced. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today we're going to be discussing Everything Everywhere All at Once. This is about an aging Chinese immigrant who is swept up in an insane adventure where she alone can save the world by exploring other universes, connecting with the lives she could have led. The Daniels direct a multiverse movie starring the likes of Michelle Yeoh, Stephanie Hsu, Ki Kwan, James Hong, and Jamie Lee Curtis. Now, once again, I love the Daniels. I love what they did with Swiss Army Man, and I thought that movie was awesome. It was one of my favorite films of that year. So when I hear that they have a brand new movie coming out, I get excited. And I hear that it has some multiverse aspects of it, which is pretty interesting because we just got Spider-Man No Way Home, we're getting Doctor Strange, we had What If, and all the comic book spirits all dealing with the multiverse. But now the independent studio A24 is releasing a film that's kind of in the same realm. But Jesus, I had a couple thoughts leaving this movie. One, not that this is one of the greatest A24 movies ever created. It's one of the greatest films that I've ever experienced. But hands down, this is like probably the best multiverse film. Like, I don't see anything else beating this. Like, holy shit. Like, I'm on cloud 9 right now from this movie, and I didn't know what to expect. Like, I love the Daniels, and I love what they had done with Swiss Army Man, but the trailers really weren't grabbing me for this movie. But I thought, let's go see it, because it could surprise me. And honestly, within the first 20 minutes, this movie skyrockets and fires, and it feels like it just gives you a shot of adrenaline to the point where you feel like you don't know what to do, and you don't know what the hell is going on. And for the first 20 minutes, I was sitting there, I was like, man, am I going to be in the minority and not really dig this movie? But once it finally clicks in and executes what the concept is of this, I was sold. And throughout the movie, I was kind of going, I don't know if I really get the whole concept of this. As it continues, it starts to progress in a way that you do understand everything. And even though it explains it, and you're still a little bit confused, as it's going on and certain things are happening, you start to get it and you're like, this is clever as shit. And I think this is absolutely one of the most creative and unique films yet, and wholly original ones, because something that I can really much say is that you have never seen a film like this. Yeah, sure, you saw Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah, sure, you're going to see Doctor Strange, and maybe there's a couple other multiverse kind of films like that out there, concepts, but this is wholly original in its way, and this is the type of movie that when one of your friends say, oh, they don't make any unique movies or interesting or just in general original movies anymore, this is the film you slap in their face and say, go see this, and tell me that you feel the same way. Of course, before we get any further into this and I really start to dive into my pros, guys, make sure to leave a comment down below as well on what your thoughts are on this. Did you like Swiss Army Man? Are you looking forward to this? Were you able to check it out? Let's discuss it all down there, as well as making sure to hit that like and subscribe button, because I'm all about film appreciation over here. I love talking movies, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it may be, but when I do love a movie, I love sprouting it from the top and discussing it with you guys. So again, hit that like and subscribe button so you're up to date on all sorts of fun movie content. I really don't know where to start with this movie, but I guess I should start with the performances, because Michelle Yeoh absolutely proves that while she is also just a badass, she is one of the best actresses out there and that has ever lived. She gives such a fantastic performance in here, and one that is really much phenomenal, because there's so many different aspects of this film that she really has to pull off. She has to pull off this badass kung fu style, but she also has to give this emotional performance and this heartstrung one as well that makes you root for her character even when she is in the wrong. And it's a movie that really much dives into themes and messages about our ancestors, our generations, maybe certain choices, and maybe we've always had that what if thought. What if I had done this instead of that? It kind of shows you what these parallels probably could have done and how they open up different pockets of the universe. And it does make you think about your lives and certain choices that you would have made, and maybe would you be in the same spot? Would you not? And it also deals in with family and how family is important, and acceptance and love. And when you get an outside perspective of like, oh my God, I've been neglecting this or losing this, it really opens your eyes. And Michelle Yeoh, her performance is astonishing in this, and I loved it. Along the side of Stephanie Hsu, who plays her daughter, and she is also amazing. She has this charisma to her that she really much, without getting into spoilers, if it wasn't for her, a lot of the aspects in the second half of the film would not work. And thankfully for her, she's great. Going alongside the Ki Kwan, who is just awesome and very much is the one that kicks off everything into this film, where I was like, holy shit, this is great. James Hong is great, and Jamie Lee Curtis, my god, she plays such an interesting role, and all of them have something special to this aspect, and it might be going in one way and then it jerks you and takes you in another way. But this is a movie that, you know, while the performances are great, I look at the Daniels as a writer and director duo, and I just think, how the hell did you make this movie work? In every sort of way, in whimsical manner, how did you make this work? And it blows me away in so many different ways, from, like, again, the direction, the writing, and how, like, you're watching this concept unfold and you're like, this makes no sense, but I'm kind of understanding it and it's working. And they weave in humor and hilarious moments where you are dying laughing, and then extremely go right to an emotional moment and you're about to cry. And then it jerks you back and it takes you to this awesome kung fu sequence, and you're just like, holy shit. And the action sequences that they bring in here are some of the best that I've seen in, like, the last 3 years. And I'm a really picky person when it comes to action, but, like, the way they filmed it was so open and wild. It makes me go, shit, they should have directed Spider-Man No Way Home if they know how to handle the multiverse here. Seriously enough, coming away from the comic book talk, I can't wait to see what the Daniels do. I will always be supporting them with everything they have in mind, because their creative mind is certainly special. That's just something. This movie made me feel so much through it, because as I'm watching this, I'm so entertained. I'm laughing. I'm enjoying myself. I'm watching all these awesome action sequences. And that's the first half of the movie. And then the movie shifts with a twist. And it opens up a layer that very much makes the movie more than what it was. Because it was entertaining. And I was enjoying it for that, and I was loving it. But then again, this twist that it takes, I feel like some people will think it goes off the rails. Some people won't like it. Some people will love it like me. And I loved it again, because the way that it takes is a very emotional direction that has humor to it. It's still pretty badass. But the core of it strings out of what this story really remains to be. And while the pacing does take a little bit of a hit there, it's nearly something that I don't even want to nitpick, because I was so fascinated with watching this movie. And really much just totally enamored with this. In fact, the majority of the movie, I was quite speechless. Like, whether it was the action scenes again, the moments that were making me laugh my ass off, my jaw hitting the floor from certain particular things that happen, that, like, you will just be like, what in the hell am I watching? But in the very end, if you are close with your family, or there's someone in your life that you wish you were closer with, it'll make you want to call them up and go give them a hug, or a kiss, or whatever it may be. And you'll want to call them up and tell them that you love them. And it just, again, makes you rethink everything. And when a film can hit me in the heart like that, where it makes me think about my life, but it also entertained me in such a way, this movie was tailor-made for me. It was on the wavelength that I needed it to be. And the shot of adrenaline that you get lasts up until this point. And then, you know, after you have all that adrenaline, you start to maybe sweat, feel a nervousness. You don't know what's going to happen next. The film takes you in that direction, because you don't know what's going to happen next. Every minute, every second, something different is happening, and it keeps you entertained. This, again, is not just one of the best films I have seen in such a long time. Again, I know I saw The Batman. I know I love The Batman. But this is hands down one of the greatest things I've ever seen. And it was just something that was totally made for me, and I am absolutely blown away by this movie. I didn't expect to love it. I expected to maybe like it, or just certainly enjoy it, because there was a lot of buzz coming out of South by Southwest. But shit, this is the real deal. Believe everything that you've heard about this movie on how awesome it is, and understand why that this movie truly is a masterpiece. I know those are long and heavy words, but for me, this film just hit me in the soft spot so much. And I just can't believe what the Daniels actually created here. I can't express enough. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once is one of the greatest films of all time for me. Entertaining, hilarious, emotional, wild, unique, action-packed, and insane. Holy shit, my jaw was on the floor. I probably gained a six-pack from laughing my ass off. Michelle Yeoh is absolutely phenomenal in here, and honestly a god, Stephanie Hasu, Ki Kwan, James Hong, and Jamie Lee Curtis. And everyone brings this film to life. But for me, Michelle, Stephanie, and Key, they are the three that really mold this movie into what it is. And every aspect of their characters that the Daniels created, they act their asses off and give, again, an emotional, touching, and dramatic performance that I personally could not get enough of. And I just am I am on the floor just stunned by how great this movie is. And I think a lot of you guys are going to be feeling the exact same way. So thank you again so much for watching this. And with all that said, I'm going to give Everything Everywhere All at Once an A+. I was honestly pretty worried about 2022 because while I did like some films throughout this year and love some, I've seen 60 new films this year, and maybe 10 have blown me away. Thank God this was one of them. And to the point where I was like, shit, 2022 might be a fantastic year for movies if it continues in this path. And I cannot wait to see your guys' thoughts on this film. So again, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, comment down below your guys' thoughts. I gotta hear your guys' on this one. And make sure to head on over to Sandwich on Films on how to see films early, or just in general, be up to date on the latest movie news. But of course, until next time, stay classy.